Yes, what is good, guys? You are tuned in to Pi Radio. This is Play That Funky Music Brown Boy. My name's Gurns, and welcome if you're just joining us. You've tuned in at just the right time because I am just about to be joined by my special guest, Sabah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just like obviously lockdown 3 and that, like as
Yeah,
well as you can be. Um,
I know.
how's your week been? I always ask guests this, and they're literally like, "Well, what can I do? I literally can't do
Same
anything."
old, same old. Yeah, literally, it's the same. I feel like it's Sunday every day.
Well,
It's
today,
so yeah,
literally, I've been delivering the Sunday vibes for like the past few months, like trying to keep
yeah.
people like going,
Literally,
sort of thing.
literally.
But yeah, so for the people that might not know you or your music, do you want to just give them a bit of an oversight over what you're about, like what your genre is, if you could put you in a like niche like that? I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, my name's Sabah Kenway. I'm an R&B soul singer-songwriter from London, and yeah, like my main vibe is to bring back like the old school um soul R&B, but with like a new school kind of like vibe. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much like what I'm about. Yeah.
So like, what do you mean by like new school? Like, what elements is it that aren't from before that you're bringing in, sort of thing?
So there's like loads of different things. Like for example, an artist that I think would like I find myself similar to someone like Kali Uchis, or someone like Tyler the Creator, or like those type of like contemporary R&B acts that kind of mesh like old school with like samples and stuff like that with like modern day like R&B and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like that kind of thing.
So like, would you put your music in any particular box, or do you prefer to just say I am who I am, like this is my music,
Yeah,
sort of thing?
yeah, not at the moment, but I feel like generally as a whole, I'd say R&B is like my main like thing, but I wouldn't like put myself in like a box just yet. Do you know what I mean? I want to like explore and do other things, see what I can do.
Sure. So how long have you actually been doing music for?
So that's a like difficult question because in terms of like writing and stuff like that, I've been writing from quite a young age, like 7, 8. So obviously they were
Wow,
like
that
horrible,
is
terrible little
young,
songs.
like 7.
They were really bad, but nonetheless, I started around that age. But like singing properly, like saying to myself, like, okay, I can maybe make a career out of this kind of thing. Maybe I was around 15, 16. I'm 22 now, so kind of a few years.
Okay, yeah. So how long have you actually been like in? Would you say you've been in the industry then, sort
So
of
like
thing?
actually releasing music from
Yeah.
2019.
Okay.
I released my first song, yeah.
So still like kind of early then, I'd say, like
Yeah,
still.
early days still, yeah.
Yeah, no, and you're already doing like pretty well for yourself. Like I've had like obviously a look at like
Well,
from your like Spotify and like already doing bits. Like and I just seen like you like obviously like you've been out since 2019, haven't obviously
yeah,
released that much music because it's only been 2 years, but
of
like
course, yeah.
already gaining like a lot of traction. So it's like good to see. Obviously, people are liking it, which is nice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Mm.
it's nice to see. Like it's reassuring. Obviously, you get those times you compare yourself and you're like, "Oh, I'm not doing as well as I should be," and all of that. But I have to remind myself that I'm basically still starting out. I'm just starting out, so I shouldn't be, pressuring myself that much. But yeah,
Sure. So I read on your Spotify bio that you're from Northwest London. Now,
yeah,
explain to me because my like geography in terms of London isn't that great. So like
yeah,
obviously I know like East London is like where grime comes from, but that's
yeah.
literally like the extent of my knowledge. So like when you say from Northwest, does that mean anything in terms of your music, or are there different areas for different music, or does it not really affect you that much?
Well, for me anyway, like London in general is like a melting pot of different cultures, different music genres, different like there's so many things when you can't just say, oh, I'm from London. You won't really expect, for someone to say, they're from London for you to expect what, genre of music they're doing, or even like the area that they're from. But like in London, most of the talent that's come out of London is pretty much only that I've heard of really is South London and East. So I've yet to like, except for I think Nines is from Northwest as well. But other than that, there's not a lot of notable people that have made it out of Northwest. So I'm here trying to change the game up a little bit.
Sure, yeah, we'd love to see it. So, obviously, Northwest London. Have you always been there? Have you moved around a bit? Because I saw like Rain of July video. You were in Brighton. Was that just for the
Yeah.
shoot, or is that where you're based now? Like,
No, I've literally been born and raised Northwest London. Like I've been here my whole life, still live here. But
mhm.
the Rain of July video was like it was interesting because I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to like because my first video for Loving You, which is my first single that I released in 2019, I did a video here in London. So I was like, I don't want to do another video and it's in London again. Like it's the same vibe. I want to like move and like travel a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So I
Mm.
wanted to see what I could do, and Brighton was a good option. So that's why I did it there.
Sure, yeah. Like, obviously, being up here, I've never been to Brighton. The closest I've been is to Gatwick Airport. But
No,
no, I understand like the beach is like a popular
yeah,
place to go. So
yeah,
yeah. So obviously, you talked about how one of the main reasons you wanted to shoot it in Brighton was because it was something different. Was there any
yeah.
other reason with regards to the song as to why it fit it well in that sense?
So so the song's called Rain of July. I didn't want to shoot it when it was raining. Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
didn't want it to be that like, oh yeah, rain of July, oh it's raining, oh yeah. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to like have more of a subtle type of metaphor. So
sure.
instead of rain, I was like, oh, the beach, water.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I did it there.
Yeah, because honestly, when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, she's released this song called Rain in July in January." I was like, "That's a bit brave, you know." Like,
I know. But then again, it would have been like, oh yeah, it's July, rain of July,
yeah,
she's trying to be, she's trying to throw metaphors at us or whatever. But
yeah.
yeah.
But nah, so did you? So we're gonna play Rain of July in a bit. But did you always have that sort of metaphor music video idea in your head, or did the song come first and then afterwards you thought about it? Like, how did this song itself come about?
So the song itself came out, I wrote it a couple years ago actually. So it was a couple years in the making, like 3 years or so. So to begin with, Rain of July is technically about like you're in a relationship or whatever. It could be platonic, could be, romantic, whatever. And like everyone's gonna have ups and downs in those situations. So it's not always gonna be all smooth sailing. So Rain of July kind of means like the bad times in like a good situation. Do you know what I mean? So like the rain in summer. Do you know what I mean? So like the whole situation is a good one, but you know, you're gonna come across situations that aren't gonna feel so great in the moment, but
Yeah.
things happen.
And like depending on where you are in the UK, the amount of rain you get in July is like a bit
London is pretty common.
yeah, no, no, no.
Pretty
Let me
common.
tell you, we live in Manchester here.
Yeah.
It's like literally grey every single day. Like it's literally
We
known
can
for
relate
it.
here
Like
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
but no, I definitely got what you were trying to do though in terms of like juxtaposing the whole idea of
Yeah.
bad and the good sort of thing, which is like I think it is that's definitely common to a lot of relationships. Like nothing's ever going to be perfect, is it? So you're always
Mhm.
going to have that sort of. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a what's it called? Uh, so like a reason to like end the relationship sort of thing. But
Exactly.
there's still like acknowledge that there's certain things that aren't exactly perfect sort of thing. I
Exactly.
suppose.
Things that you need to work on. Like if you're not happy with a certain situation, speak up and say something. Otherwise, you're going to be unhappy for the duration of that relationship. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So yeah, that's basically what it's about.
Cool. So on that note, we're gonna give Rain of July a play now. Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah. So this is my new single, "Rain of July," out now on all platforms, and the music video and behind the scenes videos are out too. So you can go check them out.
Yes, that was Rain of July by Sabah Kenway on Pi Radio. And you know what? After discussing it with you and listening to it,
Hmm.
I don't know whether that's why or whether it's the first time that I actually listened to it and was like properly like analyzing
Yeah.
it. It makes so much sense, like in terms of the lyrics and also getting like the old school vibes as well, like
Yeah.
so like chime instrumentals, like sort of thing, the beat, like no, definitely.
Exactly.
So if you want to go check that out again, go Spotify, the videos on YouTube, and you've also released the behind the scenes video as well, right?
Yeah. I do.
Cool. So like, what was the with the behind the scene video like? What was your reason for like wanting to put that out? Like, was it just like to give more of like the vibes of the video, or was it to show this is how we made it? Or
Yeah, I think it's pretty much both. I wanted to show how the video came to be, and like it would just be something fun to look back on, like in a few years' time. Hopefully, when I my career becomes more established and stuff, it would be nice to keep like a kind of like a video diary type of thing
yeah,
on
definitely.
how, yeah, on how like the video was made and stuff. So yeah, and I thought it was just something fun to do as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Um, so in terms of you generally as a musician, who would you say your biggest inspirations are then?
There's quite a few, so I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. So I'd say Amy Winehouse, Lauryn Hill, Erica Badu, Sade, those types of artists are pretty influential in what I do.
Sure, yeah, and I can definitely see how those are all reflected in your voice. Like, especially think about someone like Sade, for example, like the whole like
Yeah,
slower, almost like a different tone to
exactly.
their voice as well, sort of thing. I was saying before about I don't know if you heard about Lauryn Hill. Do you see
Yeah,
this week she went into she became the first female rapper to have a record go platinum. So that was
yeah.
like cool to see that like history
And
being
with only
made.
like one album, like her own what like album by herself,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, no, and obviously it's like it's obviously on one hand it's like sad that that's the only Lauryn Hill we've
Yeah,
got, but then on the other hand it's like you know it's always there. Like if you want to go and like listen
exactly.
to it, you can
You can go
just.
listen to it, and it's just amazing. Like the album is one of my favorites to listen to. I can never get tired of it. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I think like there's just so much like it's not just music, it's the messaging. You can see how much thought's gone into it, with like the little interludes at the
exactly,
end of the tracks and stuff
exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
Sure. So in terms of it, like obviously inspirations, you tend to think like people who've come before you. So in terms of like current or up and coming artists, who are you a fan of? Like, are there any from like up north, like or Manchester area, or is it like mainly like London type?
There's quite like a lot of people that I really love like these days that are coming out that I think are really 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 talented. Like people like, for example, Loyal Kana and Mahalia and Georgia Smith and all these types of people that are coming out.
Hmm.
I really do enjoy their music and I think they're really good. So yeah, that's those types of people I really really. There's obviously like a huge extensive list, but off the top of my head, those are kind of who I can think of.
Sure, yeah. No, it's cool as well to see all three of those artists basically. If you went like 3 or so years ago, they would they'd still be like established, but they weren't like on the map. And now all
Yeah.
three of them are definitely like names that you know. For example, I know Mahalia has released something this week, I think called
Mhm.
Jealous, and it's with American rapper Rico Nasty, and it's just like I was watching the video for
Yeah.
that and I was like, wow, like I remember when she was like sort of like a bit of an unknown artist and so we're
Just
like
yeah, exactly, underground kind of, just
mm,
coming up, and it's like crazy to see where all of them have come now. So it kind of gives me a little bit of hope. Like, do you know what I mean? Like in the
mhm.
next, few years where I could potentially be in terms of my career. So yeah, it's exciting.
Nah, definitely. So, in terms of your own personal preferences, do you like listening to the same type of music that you're putting out, or do you like different genres? Like, what's your go-to sort of music?
No, I definitely like a lot of different like genres. Like I don't, as much as I love R&B and soul and all that kind of thing. Like I love to just discover new songs and like from different genres. Like I listen to everything. I listen to like, obviously R&B, soul, jazz. I listen to hip hop. I listen to rock. Like everything. Like I listen to so much, and I can't even keep track sometimes of like what music I even listen to because it's just a lot. So yeah,
Sure, yeah. No, like one of the reasons why I was asking that is because the next track we're gonna play, which I think, judging from your Spotify, is one of your like best performing tracks, is
yeah.
Over, but it's the what's it called S from West remix, which I
That's
think
from
it,
West. Yeah,
yeah, like
this
it's
is the same producer who produced Rain of July as well.
okay, fair. So S from West produced Rain of July as well.
Yeah, he did.
That's really interesting because they're like very different
Very
vibes.
completely different vibes.
Like, obviously, the original version of Over is a bit more slower, but like the what's it called? The remix.
Remix.
I think possibly, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason why that's gained traction is because that's gone in the garage playlists. I think because I think I've seen,
Spotify, yeah.
yeah. So like, how did you feel like about that? Because obviously, garage isn't exclusively what you're about, but then it's like
Hmm.
that's what how people are finding you. Like, how do you feel like about venturing into other genres or being recognized for that?
You know, it's quite interesting because like I never expected to like go into like garage or like any type of, you know, dance type of genre. Do you know what I mean? Like it was mainly I was gonna do R&B, hip hop, maybe get into that, like you know, soul, that kind of thing. But like it was interesting to see how well it did because obviously it got into like the Spotify official UK garage playlist. So the fact that people are finding me through that is really fun, and it means that I can maybe do another track like that and like maybe expect the same results. And it's interesting. I can expand my style a little bit. So yeah, it's fun.
No, definitely, I can imagine it, and like obviously, it's nice to have a bit of like demonstrate your like versatility as well. And like I can
Exactly.
imagine,
Yeah.
for example, like once all COVID's over, performing live, you could like obviously have a bit of a relaxed number and then have the like proper like remix one where you can jump around a bit
Exactly.
sort of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. So we're gonna give that a play now. Do you wanna just introduce it again?
Yeah, sure. So this is Over S from West remix UKG. So yeah, hope you enjoy.
Cheers. Yes, that was Over the S from West remix. Bit of a tongue twister that one.
Yeah.
By Sabah Kenway. And yeah, if you don't know, Sabah is more of like a R&B soul artist, but that is actually a bit of a garage dance track. And I can say I'm not used to hearing a sax on a garage track. You know what I mean? Like listening to that. So that was a pleasant surprise as well.
Yeah.
But moving on, I wanted to ask, how have you found the past year with regards to COVID, lockdown, obviously, because I understand like as well, London actually had a lot more leniency towards the start. Then like obviously Christmas, you guys like had
Yeah.
cancelled, but like, so how have you found it overall?
It's been a weird one, really. It's been really kind of challenging because in the beginning, with like this whole COVID situation, like everyone was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, like 3 months and we'll be done." Okay, it's
Mm,
been a year and we're still not finished. But like, I just feel like if it was taken more seriously to begin with, I don't think we would be as like it wouldn't be where we are now. Basically, we would have dealt with it earlier. We would have been on the road to just being, having a normal life again, basically. But yeah, the past year's been up and down. Like I've been all over the place. One minute I'm like, yeah, okay, it's fine. Next minute I'm having a mental breakdown in the corner.
mm.
So yeah, it's been challenging.
Nah, yeah, definitely. I get what you're saying as well about people adhering to stuff before, because obviously we're on radio and we're telling everyone please do still stick to the rules because
Yeah,
we need to in order to ensure our medical safety. But at the same time, I understand why people are more frustrated now because we're obviously a
yeah,
year into it and we're still having to live our lives differently to how it was before. Like it's weird when you think about like before, like once this is all over, like
yeah,
touch wood actually does like be over at some point. But
yeah,
like once it is, it's gonna be weird adjusting to what life was before. Like going
yeah.
close to people, like interacting with people. It's gonna
A
be
hundred
weird.
percent. Like, yeah, definitely. Like, even like you said, like it's gonna be like live shows, for example, are gonna be so weird. Like, some people are gonna be like super happy to be out and like whatever, and then others are gonna be really like cautious,
Mm,
which is understandable. I feel like I'm gonna be one of those people. Even though I want to be out and I want to be going to live shows again and living my life normally again, but I feel like part of me is still going to be like, oh, they can't
yeah.
stay close. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's sad because it could have been dealt with way better to begin with. We
Mm,
could have gone into lockdown straight away and then, slowly lifted it and gotten back to like a normal routine. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? But you know,
And
it is what
maybe
it is now.
not have encouraged people to go out and eat, etc. Just a
Exactly.
thought, just my opinion there, but
Yeah, we're gonna
like,
do that again
yeah,
for like Christmas, and it's just crazy.
it is crazy. Like, so how have you found, obviously, being a musician during COVID? How has that affected you? Has it been good in terms of it's giving you an excuse to get away and make music, or has it prohibited you in terms of actually creating it?
In a way, it's been both, to be honest with you. So like when this first situation started, the pandemic came about. I was just about to release my second single, Over. So as I was about to release that, the pandemic hit. So everything shut, everything like, lockdown happened. Like, so I was supposed to film like a video for that, and I had like shows lined up and everything, and obviously that didn't happen. So that caused the whole rollout of my single to completely flop. Like it was so bad. So I was obviously really down about that, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. And I just felt like I was kind of stuck in terms of, because no one knew what to like, what was okay, what wasn't okay, if studios were going to be open, and like, because you know it was just a for me it was kind of a weird thing, because I especially in the beginning, like I said, because I didn't know, like I was kind of just because I thought it was going to do better than it did, but
Mm.
obviously pandemic, everything went shut down, and it went bad. So yeah, I don't know, towards the end it was okay, but you know
So, how did you adapt to that then? Like, obviously, seeing what happened with Over in terms of it was a bit uncontrollable in terms of no one knew what was going to happen. In terms of well, people probably did know, but you didn't know that was going to
no
happen. So,
no
um, how did you adapt? Like, in terms of like thinking, right, I'm a musician. I'm in this like
yeah
global pandemic. This is no one really knows what they're doing. I want to still put
yeah
out music. Like, so how did you like go about that?
So obviously in the beginning it was kind of weird, but I tried to like at the best of my ability try to um use like social media as much as I could, like in terms of Instagram lives and stuff like that. I tried to be on there and like kind of do little showcases and whatever, like showcases. I would perform sometimes and like try and make sense of everything. And then I ended up releasing like a homemade video for my song that my sister helped me film and edit and all of that, and we put that out. And then that's actually how the remix kind of came about, because I was talking to S from West Adam, and we were just talking about it, and he kind of like sent me a little clip just on Instagram, just messages through DM, and he was like, I just did a little thing, and it was like a very early stages of the remix, the UKG remix. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing! What the hell? Like we have to do something with this, and we have to put it out. So that's how that came about. Was because we were trying to find ways to like, well, accidentally, like we
Mhm.
found a way to kind of make the best out of a really weird situation with the pandemic.
Sure, yeah. So obviously you've done Reign of July, released I think in January, and then the music video came out this month, right?
Yeah.
So what are your plans for the future? Do you have any, or is it a bit soon to tell? Is it possible that if stuff gets relaxed, you might do stuff like so? What's in the works, basically?
Yeah, so hopefully I'm planning to be a bit more productive this year, because obviously I've been making music properly since 2019, where I released my first song. And I only have like three songs out, well, excluding the remix, like like three actual songs out. So I wanted to establish myself. So now that I have three songs, I want to release a bit more this year, hopefully like two or three, maybe even four if we're being ambitious this
Hmm.
year. But that's all to do with the pandemic, and seeing where that goes. And if things are relaxed, obviously, then that will be great. But only if it's safe to do so, so we don't have to keep bouncing in and out of lockdown and things
Yeah,
being weird. So yeah, if things go well, then I'm planning to release a couple of songs this year.
sure. So what was I gonna say? Completely had a mind blank then. Um, You know when that happens and you just literally like it was
You just
literally on the
forget
tip of my
everything you're about
tongue
to
and I
say.
was
Happens to
literally
me every day.
what was it?
Yeah,
You
you're
just
not alone.
you just told me about your plans for the future.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, is music your full time or do you do something else on the side? Like,
So yeah, music is basically what I do, my main thing that I do. So yeah, like me, I do like on the side like art, and I like to draw and all that. And me and my sister are kind of in the works of like making these cute little rings that we wanna, you know, hopefully sell soon. So that's
that's
like the
cool.
little side hustle. But music is my main.
Sweet, yeah. So we're gonna end this interview with your first track, and you want to just tell us because this is it's a bit of a deep one, like, and especially it's even the title "Fool for Loving You." Do you want to tell us a bit about how this came about?
Yeah, so this song, like one of my first songs that I like wrote and I really actually kind of liked. So I wrote this song when I was about 17 or 16, and it was little me being all upset over some guy who like I was like, oh, like I'm putting all this effort in, and they don't really care. So what do I do? And yeah, that's how the song came about, and it's pretty self-explanatory when you listen to it, and even from the title.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can kind of relate to it, whether again it's like a romantic relationship or a platonic one. You know, it's a relatable subject. So
It's cool though, because like we obviously make fun of like being in love at the age of 16 and like kind of
yeah.
like do that, but then at the same time, if it's making songs like this, then
Hmm.
maybe like maybe it's all right then.
Maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me. I'm having a great time.
No worries. So before we play this final track, "Fool for Loving You," do you want to just tell people who are listening where they can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on pretty much every social media platform: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Twitter, I'm Kenway Sabah. Facebook and Instagram, I'm just Sabah Kenway, and on TikTok as well, if you're
Oh,
into that
TikTok.
kind of thing. So yeah,
Have you
and
actually
my songs are on all platforms. So
cool? Have you actually put out any TikToks yet?
I
Oh wow! See, I always say like I'm literally because I'm a '96 baby. I'm
have. Right.
literally like on between the two, so like in terms of Gen Z millennial. So I
Yeah, yeah,
literally
yeah.
clasp at anything that's gonna keep me in millennial. So I'm just like TikTok, like
I know.
stay away. But it's
And you know what it
hard.
is? It's like it's a weird one TikTok because it's like it's completely different from Instagram and Twitter and all that kind of thing. It's like you have to treat it like its own thing. Like
Mm,
it's even the algorithm is just weird. Like people are on there doing the weirdest thing, just like
yeah.
being an idiot, and they get like thousands of likes and
Mm,
views. So literally, you could just be on there doing the stupidest whatever, and people will be like, "I like that."
mm.
So it is what it is. It's just it's fun. It's just for fun.
Yeah. It seems to make people go viral a lot easier than when it was Vine. Vine seemed to be like quite
Yeah.
like an exclusive thing, but for some reason TikTok, like obviously you've got your main people, but it doesn't seem to be like there's it's not like an exclusive club. Like people just go
Yeah.
viral and they have their second of fame and then that's it
Yeah,
really.
exactly. Yeah,
But yeah.
exactly. I think it's because on Vine it was like 6 seconds, so there wasn't really
Mm,
much to do in those 6 seconds. But with TikTok now being like 15 seconds to like a minute, you can do quite a lot with it. So people, and it's just random content as well. So
yeah.
they're like very niche things, and like loads of people find it like to be entertaining. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but that was what I liked about Vine was like it was like obviously it's 6 seconds. That means
yeah,
you had to be funny. So in order
yeah.
for it to,
It's
because
just six
everything I
seconds.
was
Yeah,
seeing was like funny. Whereas on TikTok, when I first went on it, I was a bit like I'm literally seeing the most like random stuff that can go on for a minute or
yeah,
like either random or like really cringe, and I'm just a bit like
yeah. I
I
know.
don't know, but
Yeah.
I probably do need to just go over myself and like get into it because it's not
Yeah,
going
but like,
anywhere.
what have you got to lose? Like, it's just fun. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just a bit of fun, harmless fun, whatever.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
heard it here first, guys. I'm gonna try out TikTok. Thank
try
you for
it, try it out.
convincing me. Right, so yeah, we're gonna play your final track for loving
Yeah.
you. Do you want to
Hmm.
just introduce it again?
Yeah, so from the words of little 16-year-old Sabah, yeah, it's full for loving you, and I hope you enjoy.
Sweet. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you later.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye.